If you have Wi-Fi 2 to 3 hours a day and a phone, you can hit 3K a month just by setting appointments. And here's exactly how I would do it if I was starting from zero. And what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to show you a bit of proof of how much I was making my first few months. So my first month set in, I was able to make 2,500, which allowed me to quit my 9 to 5 because that's what I was making in my 9 to 5 anyways. So in my head, I was like, if I make 2,500 online, why do I need my 9 to 5? So I decided to quit my 9 to 5 and go full into this. And so these are the numbers for my second month doing this. I made 4K USD, and then December I made 4.2 USD, and then January I made 5K. So in just a matter of 3 4 months, I was able to double how much I was actually making a month from setting. So which goes to show, like, if you put your head down, you actually put in the work, the sky's the limit. You are able to 3 times your current income pretty easy. And for those of you who don't know what appointment setting is, picture those influencers with like 300K followers that are selling some type of info product. So we'll say fitness, for example. So they're selling a fitness offer, they have in their bio DME coach to get started or whatever. So your job as an appointment setter is, these influencers aren't going to be replying to hundreds of people a day that are looking to buy their product. So that's where an appointment setter would come in. Your job as an appointment setter is to start the conversation, ask the right questions, make sure they qualify, and if they tick all your boxes, you're going to get them on a call with a closer. And then once they get on that call with the closer is then going to close the deal. And if the deal closes, you get your commission. What that looks like is, if it's a 5K package, you get 5% of 5K, 250. If it's 10K, you get 500. So now you're thinking, how do I actually get started in this? So as you can see here, I did a bit of outreach. So outreach is a great way to actually like land yourself your first role, land yourself an offer. But the only thing with outreach is you have to do a lot of outreach. You have to get used to being ignored. You have to get used to not being answered. So like, if you can even see here, this is all the outreach that I sent when I was looking for a role at the start. Like, I sent lots. Only a few people answered, but that still didn't put me down. I was still determined to land the role. So you can see that I have loads of DMs there. But anyways, when you are making an outreach message, you want to obviously tell them that you're hungry. You tell them why you're reaching out. Um, Here, to be honest, I did lie in this. I said I've collected hundreds of thousands in sales. I'm hungry to prove that I'm a top performer and can be a source of value for you and your team. Then I said sales training I've invested in, a Closer Cartel, Closer Academy, and would love to chat and see what opportunities you have. Then he asked me for a loom. And loom as well, for anyone that is getting started in appointment setting, you need to make a loom. A loom video is like an appointment setter CV. So for most offers you go on, or anything you're applying for, they will ask you for a loom. A loom is just going to be you talking to the camera, introducing yourself, telling them why you're a good role, any experience that you have. And so yeah, this guy, I did my outreach message to him and he replied. And of course, and then I followed up with him again. He goes, for sure, man. Sent him my loom. Then I hopped on a call with his assistant. But by the time I hopped on a call, I already landed an offer, so I didn't actually see this one through. But that's just one way to get an offer. So second way to land a role is through communities. So communities are a great way to land roles. This is actually how I landed my first role in an appointment setting, was through school communities. So if I click onto this, you can see there's plenty of communities that I've joined. And yes, there are free communities. There's obviously communities that you can pay for, but if you don't want to pay, you want to go about it free route, there's that as well. So if I was to, I click job board here, you can literally see there's so many different offers here. And then there's also different platforms this works for. So like even Twitter, if you were to go on Twitter and look up appointment setters, you're gonna see different appointment setting roles. You're gonna be able to scroll through a couple of offers. Same goes for Facebook, Instagram. So you get creative when you're looking for offers, because they are pretty easy to. The third and best way to get a role is through networking. We can all agree that networking is one of those things that you do need in life. To get to that next level in your life, to get into good opportunities, you need to network with people. So for example, the people that I mentor in my program, they don't need to go do outreach, because I've been posting content on social media, I've been building my personal brand. And that way offers come to me and I'm able to get the people that I'm training onto offers. So with that being said, that's why networking is the best, because not all the time will the best offers be posted. Sometimes they're not going to be posted. People are going to reach out to their network and ask, do you have a person that can fit this role? And just to touch on how to actually land offers and the people to hit up, you want to hit up people that are selling an info product. And how you're going to know that is, we'll use myself as an example. I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. I have DM me escape to get started. That word escape is a call to action. I'm calling on people to take action. DM me that word escape and I can get you started in making 3K per month. And that's how you're going to know if someone has an offer, just because of something in their bio or they're saying that they help scale online coaches. More likely they have an info product. And congratulations, you got yourself on an interview. Interviews are pretty straightforward. They're like 9 to 5 interviews, corporate world interviews. There's nothing different. So this is where you have to sell yourself. So you have to come across like you are the hungriest person they will ever meet in their life, because you're not competing with just yourself, you're competing with other people that are looking to land on this offer. And with that being said, they're going to be hungry. So you have to be hungry. And there's going to be trick questions like, what's your availability like? Please, in the love of God, do not say, I'm only free on the weekends. I'm only free this, that. They don't care. You say that, they're not going to hire you. Why would they hire someone that isn't free all the time when they could hire someone that is free all the time? So on these interviews, tell them you are free 24/7. You can get started right now if they wanted you to get started. Now let's say you aced an interview, you got onboarded, and you started as a DM setter. So this is literally what a day in the life of a DM setter looks like. You're just going to be replying to all these guys, asking them the right questions, seeing if they tick all your boxes. And for the sake of this, I'll show you someone that closed for 6,800. So he came in, he said there's no one on his call for whatever reason. And then I started a conversation. When is your call? Blah, blah, blah. And then I said, weird, I don't see you on my system. And then I put him straight back into the frame. I'm like, I'll just ask you a couple questions, see if you qualify for my program. And if everything checks out, I can set you up on a call with my business partner to go over everything. Sound good? And he said, yeah, sounds good. And then I just ask him my questions with my framework, of course. So every offer you get on, they're going to give you a framework. So don't think you're going to have to do all of this yourself. They will give you a framework to follow. You will have a certain type of questions, a certain way to ask the questions. So you're not just going to be thrown in there blindly. So I've asked him all my questions. He tells me he has at least 4K to invest in himself. I'm able to get him booked on a call. He closes for 6,800. So like, this is DM setting, boys. So boys and girls. So it is pretty straightforward. When people say you're just copy and pasting messages, that is essentially what you're just doing. Like if I was to click on, one second, if I was to click on someone new in the DMs, okay, I can't show you, but you're able to just copy and paste. Like you will have your script before you get on an offer. You're going to make out your script in your notes, or if you have any text automation, you're going to make out your whole script, and then that way you're able to work efficiently. You're able to get through hundreds of people pretty quick. All right, so there you have it. That's how you get started with appointment setting. And honestly, if you follow everything that I laid out in this video, there's no reason why you can't get to 3K a month with setting. Like you would need absolutely no experience. I didn't have any experience myself. All I did was I showed up, I stayed consistent, and I learned. That's all I did, and now I'm making 5 figures a month. So if you guys feel like you got any value from this, drop a like, subscribe. And then also, if you guys have any questions about appointments and you're looking to get started, don't be afraid to shoot me a text on my Instagram. And I'll have my Instagram in the description.